Hi, I'm going to do a spoken word off of the book Barstool Prophecies by Dennis Dubé. I told him I would do a spoken word once I've read the entire book. However, I've not read the entire book. I'm almost done, but I do know for sure that one of my favorite poems is top of my head. If you have not read this book, if you have not gotten this book, please go order it. It's definitely worth it, especially if you like raw, taunting writing. You also get to see a little bit of how he is and who he is that you wouldn't be able to find on Tumblr. The reason why I'm doing this now is because if you haven't noticed, Dennis Dubé is back on Tumblr, and it's very, very, very good to see him back on my dashboard. You see, I have a lot bookmarked. The only part where it's not bookmarked is where I still have to read. This piece is called Mendy, and it's my favorite because it's got a very twisted ending, and I did not expect that. So, threw me off a little. And if I mess up, bear with me. I have done this video probably over 8 times because it is so difficult for me to read out loud. So here we go. I had lived in this little studio apartment on the 3rd floor of Port Charlotte, Florida, after the drugs and dealers became too much for me to handle. I couldn't go home. I wasn't ready to concede defeat to either of them. I would make it on my own or die trying, whichever came first. That's where I met Mendy. She was of Cuban and African descent, or at least that's what she told me. Who was I to argue? I didn't know her, so I told her I was of Indian and Irish descent. That's why I drank so much. She laughed. We talked for a few minutes every day at the mailbox. Boxes 308 and 104. She asked where I was from, and I made up a story about growing up an orphan, and felt bad when she said she as well had grown up never having a family. We should drink a jug together sometime, she said. And I said sure, but I never really planned on it. I'm more of a lonely drinker, and she'd soon be smothering me with her tales of solitude and stealing mine. This went on for a few weeks, maybe a few months, and ever so often she'd bring up that jug of wine again. And again I'd politely nod my head in agreement, never intending to offer her an invite up. But I could tell she was desperate to drown me in her sorrows. So I said tomorrow. Tomorrow, as I walked up the stairs the next day, with 2 jugs of wine in hand, she yelled from her window, "Tonight, amigo." And I remember hearing the door and the pounding for about 2 hours, persistent pats peppering the door, but I couldn't move too much. Wine too early of an empty belly led me to limp into the bathroom to hide. Before passing out, I heard one more distant bang. I woke up a few hours later with the sounds of sirens blasting in the night sky. She was lonelier than I guessed.